Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how to create the password validation using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Here's the quick demo. Let me show you guys. So here's the input password to let the user key in password. Let's say if I just key in password, and here's a toggle eye to check to text and change it to password. And here's the validation. So first we got the length more than 5 or the length is less than 10, contains numerical character, contains special character. So numerical character means the number. Okay, so special character is the a lion, hashtag, or other syntax like the dollar sign. So shouldn't contain space, which is the space. Alright, so let's get started to build this password validation. Alright, so to get started with, I've done for created the HTML and with a live server, here's the web page, and I've linked through the font awesome and the Google font. So let's say if I just create heading one, just say hello world, and I just save this HTML, you will see that the live server will auto reload. First, we have to create the class name of container div with the class name of container. Inside of container, we have heading 2, password validation. I'm gonna save it. You will see password validation will show up over here. Next is the input type of password. We can remove the name attribute. For the ID, we can set to password. We can use the placeholder, okay, which is to show the user and the password. Save, we see that enter password is the placeholder. And next, we can also adding the event, which is on input. When the user inputs something inside this password input, on input, I'm gonna call the function check. So this function check is the JavaScript. I'll show you guys later how it works. Next, set a break tag ID of set, okay, with a div element ID set. Next is the ID of count. So this div ID of count contains the length. Okay, so we will check how many password length the user key in. So by default, I will just set as 0. Let's save it. See, here's the result. And next is the icon. Icon hashtag as the ID C. And every time the user click this toggle eye, and we're gonna call the JavaScript function. Alright, so I'm gonna save this and make sure to put the class name var fai. Alright, here we go. Here's the I. Next. Alright, so we have done for the the set. Next is the ID of check. Sorry, ID. So ID use hashtag check 0. So first check we have to check is the length. Right, so I dot var. So this is the class name. fa check circle. Save this. You will see that this is the check. So inside our I tag, sorry, outside of this check icon, you can create a span and we can give me some text over here. Length more than 5. Just this, you see that length is more than 5. So this is the validation if the user key in the password length is more than 5, and this will be checked turn to green. If it's not the length is more than 5, will show turn up to red. Right, next is the ID again, check 1. Right, we're gonna follow the according the number. So I dot class var, same, which is FA check circle. I'm gonna save this and spam. So obviously the length, the word, the text is different from the first one, length less than 10. So save this. So we can just grab this div ID and paste it for another 3 times. Total will be 5. So I'm gonna save this. You will see. So this icon will remain. We only have to change this text. So let me remove the third one. So this one should be contents numerical character. Save this. This one also should be removed. Contents special character. Save this. And the last one, which is contents, shouldn't contain spaces. Alright, so first we have the length more than 10, length less than 10, contains numerical character, contains special character, and lastly, shouldn't contain space. So make sure you change this ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we're done for the HTML, which is to, the password, the text. So next we can go for the CSS part. Alright, so first select all and can just set the box sizing, border box, select body tag. So we can set the background and we're using linear gradient. I want to start from to right hand side and here's the color to code, hashtag 6441A5. Save this, nothing changed. And the second color, hashtag 2A0845. Alright, so save it. Here's the background color. Alright, next, set to display flex. Flex decorations column, I'm going to set it to center, align item, center. Alright, so justify content, center. Mean height, 100 for height. Perfect. So overflow, we can see that it's overflow. So we're going to set as to hide overflow, hidden. And white space should be no wrap. Right, so next one is to style the container. So we have done for styling the body. Next is the container, which is this whole container. We can just set the background color to white. See, it's become white. And we can just give some box shadow, 0 pixels, 2 pixels, 10 pixels RGBA, and then 255, 255, and the alpha, which is another 255, and the alpha 0.2. Right, save it. Next, I'm gonna give me some padding for of the side, 10 pixels. So top, left, bottom, right for 10 pixels, and then the wine 400 pixels, and border radius 10 pixels. Okay, so next is the heading 2, which is the password validation. I'm going to set margin first to the top. I'm going to set to 10 pixels. Right, so obviously 10 pixels for side. So we can just, left and bottom and right, set as 0 pixels. All right, and text online, I'm going to set to center. Font size, I'm going to make it as 25 pixels, more bigger. And the color, I'm going to change to the background color. All right, nice. So, and the font white to bold. Okay, next is the set. If you still remember, set ID is we're getting from this set, okay, which will get through the length and the toggle eye. All right, we're gonna start with, so display set to block, and then positions relative. Last is the margin auto. Okay, and then we're gonna set to the count. So count ID is coming from this length. Okay, so display line block. Right, so C is gonna be one line with the length. So positions relative and margins, margin set to 4%, margin bottom 2%. Okay, color hashtag 00, which is black. Then the font size 10 pixels, text hidden 14 pixels. Okay, and then for my border. Alright, next is the hashtag ID C. So C is getting from the I. Okay, we're gonna style it. So display inline block again. Then color, I'm gonna set to gray. And then margin to auto. I'm gonna float to right hand side. Okay, so margin top, I'm gonna set to 10 pixels. Margin right 40 pixels. And then cursor pointer. So whenever my mouse is hover, you can see it's become pointer. And then I'm gonna set some transaction directions 0.2 second. Sorry, so 0.2 second. So next, okay, done for this one. Next is the input input password. So input ID double single quote password. Right, so I'm gonna style this, this enter password. Okay, so first padding 10 pixels, border gonna set to none, y 80 pixels, 50%, sorry, outline set to none, border bottom 5 pixels solid, hashtag 2A04. Okay, so next display block positions relative, and I'm gonna set the font size to 27 pixels, text online center, right, and top 50 pixels, and then I'm gonna set to the margin top 50 pixels, and then margin left to 5 pixels, margin bottom 40 pixels. Cool. And then user select to auto. Okay, so the font family I'm gonna change to this one. Okay, and transaction, I'm gonna set some transaction directions to 600 millisecond. Okay, so next one is the icon so font size 23 pixels. Okay, and then next I'll also set some transaction durations 600 millisecond. Okay, and then we're gonna grab through all the check. So check 0, hashtag check 1, hashtag check 2, hashtag check 3, hashtag check 4. Total we have 5 check. Display block position relative, margin 4%, right? And color, I'm gonna set to red. And the font size, I'm setting more big, 80 pixels, and then 0.92%. Alright, great. And the spam, so spam, which is the text, I'm just giving margin 10%, and then the font white to make it bold. Right, it's much more better. And the last one is the input. So every time the user input this password, I'm just gonna set border bottom 5 pixels solid hashtag to this color, so save. So every time I hover it, you can see it's changed the color. Right, so we're done for the CSS styling part. So now let's go ahead to the JavaScript part, which is to make this function above. So first we can create a variable. Name is visible. So first I'm gonna set to false. Alright, so this is used to check if the user click this toggle I to check whether it's text or password. Okay, so function C. So function C is coming from this icon. If the user on click this icon, you execute this function from the JavaScript. So this function will be executed. So first we can create var input equals to document get element by ID. We can get the ID of password. So ID password is getting from this input. Whatever user key in something, okay, we will store into this input. var c document dot get element by ID. So C. So C is getting from this icon. Password is getting from this input type of this password. Okay, so we can using if else if it's visible. So if it's false, so this will not be executed. So if it's false, we just set input type as password. So every time if it's false, okay, will be password. So the user cannot see the text. If the user click this icon, so it will change to text. So let me show you guys how it works. So if it's visible, we just set as false. If it's always false, so this will be executed, so always will be password. And C style dot color equals to gray. Right, and the color will always be gray, always be password, always be false. If the user only click in, so else only will be execute this one input type. Alright, so this one should be text. So it's visible. I'm gonna set to true. And C dot style dot color. So the icon, the toggle eye color, obviously will change. Hashtag single quote, hashtag 262626. So let's go ahead and check, see whether it's working or not. So first I key in password. If I toggle EC, it will change to the text and it's visible is true, and this color will change this color. See, if I just remove this color, it's changed to red. So save it, enter. So if I just click this, see, it's become red. So every time this one will be working. So I'm gonna save this, never. So we're done for the toggle, okay, which is to let the user check what password he key in. Okay, next is the function check. So function check is from this one. So every time user key in some password, okay, when this input is being key in something, all right, so this check function will execute. So this function over here, all inside this function inside the bracket will be execute. So okay, var input, we can create another input document dot get element by ID. So first we want to get through the password of a value. So what depends what user key in password. Alright, and then input input trim. You can using this this method. So trim is to remove all the white space. So let's say if the user key in and then let's say he just some space, we want to remove all the white space, return a string. So input trims. Alright, so this one should be equal. So we're getting the input and then we remove all the white space and finally we store back into the input again. And document dot get element by ID. Element by ID. So password of the value, we store it back again. Right? So document get element by ID. So we're getting the count ID dot inner text equals to length, comma, plus input dot length. Right, so this will calculate, let's say if the user just can see, this calculate the length, input length is very useful. So next we're going to check if the user input dot length is greater or equals to 5. So first we use to check one by one if the length is more than 5. So we're using greater or equals to 5. Yes, if it's true, it's greater than 5, we can just say document get element by ID. So first we want to get through the check of 0 dot style dot color equals to green. Alright, so let's check. If I just key in, my password is more than 5, you will see it's return green. So this is true and you will return green. Alright, so if I just remove all, you will see that it still remain green because we haven't set the else. Else is false. We can just grab through this line since same, but the color we have to change. So this one we just change to red. So more than 5 is this less than 5, it become red. See, simple. So next, if the input dot length is less than or equals to 10, so let me just grab this one. Command get. So this one should be 1. So remain green. And grab this one. So else paste change to 1. So save. So it's less than 10. Yes, it's true. If it's more than 10, so see, I just remove again. So green color. So next is the right. So if your input dot is match, which is matched with the 0 to 9, replace. So document get element by ID check to dot style color green. Else just paste it, change to true. Alright, so contains any numerical number. It worked. So remove, return red. Alright, next one is if your input dot match with any special character. So and in the A to Z, A to Z, 0 to 9, and then the special character. So just like this. So grab through this document. See, we have an arrow here. Let's check. I forgot to put the slash. So slash A to Z slash I. This one should be over here. Alright, so green, else. So this one should be 3 should be red. So let's execute and see special characters. A lion. It's content. So if I remove, it's return green. So it worked. So lastly is the space. If input dot match, okay, space. So this is space and document element by ID, the fourth one. So change to green, else red. This one should be 4. Alright, so let's check. So contain any space, if we just space, you see it's green. See, here's a space. So if it's more than 5, less than 10, yeah, so it's totally works and it's totally easy. It's just a simple password validation, so how it works. So that's it for this tutorial, and hopefully you'll learn something from this video. Thanks for watching, and I see you guys in the next JavaScript project.